Alright, so we have a really crazy situation to talk about today, because Roblox just made one of the worst mistakes they could have ever made so far by permanently banning Chris Hansen while he was live on a stage. Now if you somehow do not know who he is, he's basically this famous guy who's known for catching creeps on the internet and putting them on TV so everyone can see what they're actually doing behind closed doors. But out of all the weird people who hang out every single day doing terrible things on the platform, Roblox's moderation team somehow decided that it would be a smart idea to permanently ban the one guy who is actually trying his best to protect kids from getting into bad situations. You would normally think that a game company would want a famous investigator to help clean up the platform and pretty much make things safer, but instead they just shut his brand new account down while he was trying to show everyone exactly how broken the safety rules really are right now. And it really cannot get any more ironic than what happened earlier, because Roblox's moderators literally ignore all the real bad actors running around the servers just so they could silence someone who's trying to do a good thing for the community, which obviously made the company look so much worse. Now to understand how bad this really is, we need to look at what was happening before the ban, because he was doing a live demonstration at an event called CrimeCon to show parents how easy it is for adults to target younger players on the platform. And he was actually working together with a very well-known Roblox YouTuber named Schlub, who is also permanently banned from the game, and sent a cease and desist about a year ago for doing the exact same thing with trying to warn people and Roblox themselves about the bad stuff happening behind the scenes. So during this live event, Chris Hansen logged into a game called Meet, which is basically built to be a Tinder-style dating game, where random players get paired up to chat with strangers they have never met before. This game that works exactly like a dating app should never be allowed on a game made for kids in the first place, but it has just been sitting there open for anybody to join and garnering lots of visits, which is exactly why they chose to use it for the live demonstration to prove their point. Now what happened next is probably the most insane part of this whole situation, because he was only sitting and chatting inside that game for maybe a minute or two before a message popped up on the screen saying his account was permanently shut down. Someone who works for Roblox was clearly sitting at their desk watching a live stream of the event happening in real time, and they made the choice to just delete his account much faster than they would take any real bad actor off the platform. When you think about it for a second, it's really that insane, because that Roblox employee was watching a stream showing a Tinder style game filled with weirdos, but instead of deleting the game to fix the problem, they decided to silence the investigator who was pointing it out. So whatever they did here only goes to prove that the company knows exactly what is happening in these games, but they just do not care enough to actually fix it. Now this whole Chris Hansen getting banned situation, which actually took place back in late May, but fully published about 2 weeks ago, basically sets the stage for how the United States Senate launched a huge federal investigation into Roblox a few days ago for these exact same child safety problems. So like I covered in my last video, the lawmakers in the government said they would produce a letter saying that the platform seems to care way more about making tons of money than they care about keeping kids safe from bad actors who use the game every single day. When the government is already breathing down your neck, asking you to prove that you care about safety, the last thing you want to do is get caught live on video banning the most famous safety advocate in the country for trying to help. It feels like the executives in charge of making decisions are pretty much incapable of realizing how bad the optics are for them while dealing with a bunch of state-different lawsuits where they're supposed to be proving that they're the good guys up until this point. And Roblox as usual always try to tell the lawmakers that they're doing everything they can to make the game safer, while at the exact same time, their own employees are banning people who actually dedicate their time to finding bad actors on their platform. Now hopefully, if it makes any sort of change in the long run, which gonna be real probably might not be the case anyway, the government is eventually going to see the video clip from the stage and is going to ruin whatever defense the company is planning to use, because it proves that they actually do have the power to moderate things instantly when they feel like it. And it seems Roblox's moderation team essentially just keeps handing the government more and more ammunition, proving that they will do anything they can to protect the alpha games that are probably bringing in a lot of money, which is probably because of all the pressure they had to deal with their stock value going down and having to please their investors all day and night. But nonetheless, this clip is probably going to be, or in fact should be, used against them in every single meeting they have with the government, because it's the most clear example of their backwards priorities being caught on video for everyone to judge. Now a lot of this weird behavior probably goes all the way up to the top, because David Bazooka has said before that he really wants the platform to become a dating app at some point in the future. That vision for the future is probably the real reason why weird dating games like Meet are left alone to stay online and garner tons of visits, even when famous investigators are showing everyone how dangerous they are for the younger players logging in on the platform. The company keeps rolling out all these new safety updates, claiming that they're going to fix everything wrong with their platform, but those changes mean nothing at all if they're just going to keep banning the people who are actually trying to keep the platform safe. So eventually, the higher-ups of Roblox are going to have a very hard time explaining this one away when the time comes to answer for it, all in front of the people running the highest level of the government. But here's the unfortunate long-term reality of this situation. Because when the government does finally step in to force them to clean up the bad stuff happening in these dating games, Roblox is only going to make more and more strict rules for every single person trying to develop games on the platform. So in the end, the company gets to walk away looking like they solved the problem, while developers basically get obliterated by the everlasting amount of obstacles they have to go through just to keep their games intact on the platform.